Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Tuesday morning. It's now the 8th day of July, 2025. This is the morning briefing. Looking out the window from the home weather office this morning, nothing but blue sky. Here, there's not much in the way of a breeze. It's another mild morning. It's going to be another nice day. Temperatures pretty close to average, maybe even slightly below average for this time of year. And here we've gone through the first week of July without any 100s. I don't think we're going to make it through the second week of July without any 100s. But do keep in mind this is our hottest month of the year, followed closely by August. So we have another 2 months of potential heat ahead before things begin to trail off as we get into September. So, so far so good. Things are okay. And today, like I said, it's going to be a pretty comfortable day. We have, if you look at the satellite, there's a little low spinning around out here. You have to look at the marine layer kind of spinning around out in here. There's this little rotation that you begin to see here, and a pretty good marine layer. So yeah, all in all, things are looking pretty good. Now I'll come back to this because there are a couple of other things I want to talk about. We have the marine layer with an onshore breeze, but I also want to talk a little bit about the fires going on up to the north and what's going to happen with that smoke, maybe by the end of the week. But let's start with the marine layer. Nice looking marine layer this morning, and it's up over 2,500 feet deep. So yeah, this is kind of how deep it is. So that's really nice. That helps give you more of an inland penetration of the cooler air when you get more of the onshore breeze. I mean, we'll have some of that onshore breeze during the course of the day today. So this is off Kansack, and this is this morning. Light onshore flow. Light winds on the east side of the Sierra, and in the valley, that flow continues to go up the valley from the south. So that's today. I usually like to look at the 5 o'clock winds because that's about when we start to see the strongest winds. In the north end of the valley, the winds are continuing to go from the south, meaning smoke from the fires burning will continue to go to the north. Good breeze coming through Solano County and Contra Costa County. Areas like Discovery Bay will be somewhat gusty. But this is our perfect summer sort of pattern. We have a good onshore breeze, making for a warm but not overly hot afternoon, and a nice gusty wind on the east side of the Sierra. So that's today. Let's go into the day tomorrow. This is around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Notice light winds in the north end of the valley and a light onshore wind, but still windy on the east side of the Sierra tomorrow. That's at 2 o'clock. Let's go ahead one more frame to the 5 o'clock. Here's the 5 o'clock. Same thing, this onshore breeze not nearly as strong as what we'll see today. So tomorrow, temperatures bump up. We'll likely get back into the range of the mid-90s or so during the day on Wednesday. Windy once again on the east side of the Sierra. But you'll note that when you go north of Sacramento, the north end of the valley has very light winds. And so therefore, on the fire burning up here, very little in the way of steering winds. Now, for firefighters themselves, that's great news because you don't have much in the way of a wind around the fire. But again, I'll talk more about the fire in a minute. We are going to continue, however, to see smoke coming off of that fire. And then during the day on Thursday, I'll just skip ahead to Thursday afternoon at 5 p.m. Here we have a little bit of an onshore breeze, but if you look at the north end of the valley, we actually have a north wind coming down. Let me back up one frame to 2 o'clock. And here you can see those wind arrows are actually coming down the valley. So if you have a fire burning here, the surface smoke is actually going to get carried down the valley, maybe into Butte County. Don't know whether it's going to make it all as far as south as Sacramento. We'll also have winds aloft that will be from this direction as well. So we could see some of this smoke get turned down into the valley. Now, we actually have more than one fire burning up here. This is the green fire. Let's go to Watch Duty, and here is the green fire. Let me get rid of the data on here. So here's the green fire. It is currently 2,100 acres, so it's not huge, but it's in a very remote area and started by lightning, and these are the types of fires that go on and on for weeks. Forest Service working on these, but because the terrain is so dense and remote, difficult to get to, that these sort of things can just kind of smolder for a while. And there's another one up here, the Helena fire, and then another one, the Bridge fire, which is 400 acres. This one looks like it might be a little bit more let's see, they've got 30% containment, which means there's not as much smoke coming off of that. But if you go over here to the green fire, let's see if they've got, they have no containment on this, which means that it's still pretty active, and that's what you always look for here. And for those asking, the Madre fire, it just has not put up any smoke over the last couple of days. Totally different sort of fire. The Madre fire burned in a lot of grassland, which means that, yes, it went to 80,000 acres, but you can burn 80,000 acres of grass and brush a lot faster than you can burn 80,000 acres of timber. So that's why this sort of a fire, the green fire, may continue to put up a lot of smoke. And so with that, we have, so as we're concerned about the smoke, let's talk about the air quality a little bit. As you can see from Yuba City, as this reloads, through Yuba City and Sacramento, Stockton, the air quality is pretty good, and Chico, but then you go toward Redding, and yeah, the air quality just is not good at all, as I'm recording this around 8:30 in the morning. There's Lake Shasta itself, and into Redding, we don't have great air quality. However, on the west side of town, the air quality is pretty good. On the east side of I-5, the air quality not great at all. And from the alert cameras up there, some of them look like they're in great shape, as you can see here. And then some of them don't look great at all, like this one here. So it really depends on where you are. It looks like the smoke is relatively localized, but where it is bad, it is, it's pretty thick. And so my concern here is that later on this week, we could see some of that that smoke come down the valley as we start getting this flow here. And, I don't know whether or not we're going to see enough of this to really impact our air quality, but that's one thing we're going to have to keep an eye on as we get into Thursday and Friday. Also, temperatures are going to be heading up. I did want to show you that. So today is going to be the most comfortable, the coolest day we're going to see. Let's see if I can, I was going to show you the extracted data. It did update perfectly. Perfect. We will look at it together for the first time. Okay, so this is the extracted data from the NAM. This is just in, hot off the press. Lots of numbers here, but for this round, we're just going to look at this top line right here. And this is the surface temperature. And we're not going to look at these temperatures for the absolute value, but we'll do relative. So today, 89.8, so around 90 today. Tomorrow, 94.8, so up 5 degrees. So whatever today is, tomorrow will be about 5 degrees warmer. And then look at Wednesday, 105, and then on Thursday, it says 107. So again, we don't look at those at face value, but you can see just from the day-to-day jump that tomorrow, let's say 5 degrees warmer than today, and then on Wednesday, maybe another 5 degrees, and this model's saying maybe as much as a 10-degree jump. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to see temperatures over 100 in the valley. And since the warmest temperature, the hottest temperature we've seen so far this year for Sacramento is 102, we will likely see the hottest day so far this year. Here we are, we're going to be talking about July 10, 11, 12, that range. Temperatures around 105, something like that. It's obviously not unusual, but since we haven't seen much of this just yet, just kind of work around that. And that's what we'll be focusing on, the upcoming heat for the end of the week, as well as the potential for any smoke coming down the valley later on this week. That's everything I've got for you on this Tuesday morning. Make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.